Hey y'all, it's Jamie. Welcome back to Cottage Hodgepodge, my little corner of the thrifting, reselling, vintage collecting world. Here on my YouTube channel, I share with you what I sell on eBay from items that I've found at thrift stores, garage sales, estate sales. I've been thrifting items since high school, maybe even younger, and collecting vintage items since about the same time. I opened my eBay store in June of this year, and I've been selling for about 6 months now. These are my sales for the week of December 5th through 12th. My total sales were $149.88, and my cost of goods sold was $8.22. So the first item that I sold this week was an ornament. This is a really neat vintage Firefighter ornament from the lot of Firefighter ornaments that I bought at an estate sale near us back in August. I bought about 200 of them for $75, which works out to 38 cents an item. This one I sold for $8.80. My description was vintage Firefighter ornament, hand-painted fireman, Dalmatian, fire hose, realistic. So a lot of them are, more cartoony or characters. That this one was a very realistic firefighter. So, and I also try to always include both firefighter and fireman in my descriptions. Just something that you want to think about. Anything that you think somebody might be searching, try to get those keywords in your top description, but definitely if you can't get it there in your title, I guess is what this should be called. If you can't get it all in your title, then definitely include it in your description of your item. Next is another item from that lot. This actually wasn't an ornament, it was a pencil topper. It was a pencil with a topper, actually. It's a Sesame Street pencil with Firefighter Ernie topper. It was yellow, it was unsharpened. I included in the description, and I included Jim Henson for another keyword people might search for. This one, again, my cost was 38 cents, and I sold it for $8.80. Next is a really cool decorative box. I got this at an estate auction. My description is large decorative box with ornate dome top, handmade Philippines Pacific Rim, 12 inches. And this, I got in an estate auction just in a lot of decorative items. This was one of the things that caught my eye when I purchased that lot. I paid less than $1 for this specific item out of that lot, and sold it for $12.64. I had it listed for $15.80, but I had a sale going on for 20% off all the items in my store. Actually, not all items. I just picked selected categories and put a sale for 20% off to try to get my sales really picked up again. I have had some weeks where my sales were close to $400 there in November, and then it sort of tapered off. So I was trying some different things. I put a sales on for a couple days and did some markdowns and different things to try to get my sales going a little better. Next is another ornament. I sold quite a few ornaments this week. This one is a Mickey ornament. I sold one of these last week also. I had 2 total of these, and both have sold now. My description is Walt Disney Company Fireman Mickey Wood Christmas ornament, Firefighter axe wreath vintage. So whenever you have more than one of the exact same item, your eBay fees are a little less if you list it as multiple quantities available rather than doing separate listings for each item. So that's what I did on any of the ornaments where I had multiples. I also do that. I have listings of various Casserole pattern dinnerware, saucers, are all in one listing of each pattern. So I'll have 10 available, whatever I have available at the time of Casserole Old Town Blue saucers, or Crazy Daisy, Spring Blossom saucers, or whatever I have at the time. And I just pick those up anywhere I see them for around 50 cents. So I just keep that updated with the quantity that I have available. And that's a great way to do that for items that are common, found in thrift stores and things. Next is another piece from that Fire King Blue Depression glass lot. This is, I probably sold this a little lower than I should have, but I did an exception offer of $20 because, again, I wanted to get some sales in for the week. This was a vintage Fire King Sapphire Blue 8-inch casserole with lid and trivet, and it was 1940s Depression glass. And this was a really neat piece. It had all 3 pieces with it, so that will be, I think, a really great serving piece for somebody. And my cost on that is less than $1. Next is a Banana Republic wool blend pencil skirt. These are, I love buying these skirts at the thrift store near us where they sell clothing for 45 cents on Tuesdays. I've said that in almost every video, I think, because every week I sell at least one piece of clothing, which is great. Because eBay's algorithm looks at how frequently you're selling items. So to stay in the top of people's searches, you want to have sales on a regular basis. So even if some of your items aren't selling for a huge profit, it helps your overall sales if you have something selling each day. But $10 sell price on a 45-cent item is a good profit, really. It just takes a lot of those to add up to a really good take-home total profit. So that was a good one. Next is another ornament. This was a Kurt Adler, which are popular ornaments. I didn't even know his name before I purchased this lot of Firefighter ornaments, but I'll definitely be on the lookout for his ornaments going forward. Anytime I can get them at a good price, I know that I can sell them because they've been one of the best sellers out of these Firefighter ornaments. And I don't think that it would need to be just particularly Firefighter ornaments for them to sell well. I think that probably he has a good following for his vintage ornaments. So the description on this one is vintage Kurt Adler ornament, Dalmatian carved wood look, resin. So it's actually made of resin, but it was made to look like it was carved wood. I also have red, number 1 badge, fire. So I didn't even get firefighter or fireman in this title, but I made sure to include the word fire, I guess, was my thought process when I was creating this title. I'm sure that in the full item description, I got all those keywords in there. But this one sold for $12.80 and my cost was 38 cents. Next is a picture frame. I bought a lot of these new in package picture frames at an estate auction. I got, I think, 6 total frames for $3 and something. I got it for $3. I won the auction for $3. Then you have to add the 15% auction fee on top of that. So it's a little more than $3 in total that I actually paid. This one I sold for $12.80. So my cost was under $1. And this is another item where I had more than one available. And so I listed it as a single item, but with a quantity of 2 available. And another set of frames that I had in this same lot, I did the same thing and I had one buyer purchase both of them. So my description on this one is new in box, gold oval multi-picture frame, 11 by 14, holds 7 photos and made in the USA. So that's something that people sometimes are looking for, items that are actually made in the US. So if it says it on the package, then I can go ahead and include that in the title. Next is a pair of jeans. These are White House Black Market, and I hear that White House Black Market doesn't sell great, but with the thrift store that I source at, with things being so inexpensive, I go ahead and pick these up, even if they don't, they're not the best selling brands, because I can make a decent amount regardless. A lot of jeans on eBay will sell for 40, 50, 60 bucks, but I'm not able to find those brands at the particular place where I source, and that's okay. Again, it helps to just have some things selling. And I made $13.16 was the sell price on these, and so that's a decent enough profit at a 45-cent cost. Next is a needlepoint. Actually, I think these are called cross stitch. I think that's the style of these. I listed them all as needlepoint. I got a whole bunch of these in a couple different auction lots. And I listed them as needlepoint, but I found out since then, I'm pretty sure that they're actually cross stitch is the correct term for these. Regardless, I've sold several of them. The description on this one is vintage framed needlepoint, fancy rooster, olive branches, fleur-de-lis, 16 by 16. And I had 3 of these. I think I only had 2. One must have been a canceled sale because I'm almost positive that I only had 2. It says here that 3 sold, but I think that one sale was canceled. So that apparently doesn't work out quite right in eBay's system. But these I paid $1.15 for each one. And I sold this one for $28.80. And the last item to sell for this week was another piece of the Fire King blue depression glass. This one was a loaf pan with a lid, which is neat. You don't see the loaf pans with lids very often. So it's an 8x5 loaf pan or refrigerator dish, and those you do see a lot with lids, actually, now that I think about it. So that would be probably actually the most correct description of this. It is ovenware, so you could certainly use it as a loaf pan for baking, but a refrigerator dish was probably its original intended purpose back when refrigerator dish sets were very common. Some of my favorite things are Pyrex refrigerator dishes. I love those sets. But this one is the blue depression glass from the 1940s. And this one I sold for $15.04. And again, my cost was under $1 on each of the items that I got in this very large lot of the blue depression glass. So that's my total sales for this week. Again, my total was $149.88, and my cost of goods sold was $8.22. So my take home is right around $75 or $80. You estimate around 50% for your take home after you subtract your cost of buying your items, and then also money for income taxes and things like that. And there, of course, are other expenses that are involved in an eBay business. So around 50% is what people normally estimate. I think that I'm probably a little closer to 60% because I do source things very inexpensively. I don't most of the time pick an item up if I can't get it for 50 cents to $1. That's just what I'm comfortable paying. And so even if it's something that I know sells well, if I can't get it for very cheap, then I don't buy it, just because I don't want to put a bunch of money into my inventory. So that's just the way that I choose to do my business. I know there's lots of people who pay a lot more for their items, and they sell them for more, and it comes out to the same profit in the end, but I'm just not comfortable investing quite that much in my inventory, at least not yet. Again, I've only been doing this for about 6 months on this particular eBay store. I've sold things on eBay for quite a while, off and on over the years. This is the first time I've had an actual eBay store though. So I will continue making these videos each week to show you what I sold, and I'm hoping to make some more of sourcing soon. But anyway, thanks for watching, and if you like this content, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel and gave this video a thumbs up. See you next week.